Hello, myself Sunil Ramkrishnan, and here basically we are talking about the Congress Party. How basically the Congress Party keep themselves always clean. Clean means always safe. I will take one example. Um, there is currently war ongoing, right, between Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Iran, Saudi Arab, Muscat, then Iraq. This all our war is going. But here the main thing is why India is not participating in this war. There might be some reason, right? So the answer basically one of the person told that uh, Putin, actually Russian president, is fighting for India. Then basically the person basically was shocked, right? How basically Putin is fighting for India? Because he is getting money for fighting basically. Whatever materials, each and every money basically, each and every things basically, whatever things are basically getting, that are basically getting from India. Otherwise Russia, there is nothing basically with Russia that Russia can fight. Russia basically don't have anything for fight basically. The answer basically was shocked actually, that how, because the nuclear weapons basically, each and every materials basically are created from Indian nuclear plants. The old plants basically, like which is created by Sarabhai, Vikram Sarabhai. These all groups are there basically. They have created the old weapons, very powerful weapons basically. So here basically the main thing is all the material basically are given by Indian side, and Russia basically are fighting on the behalf of India. This answer basically one of the person basically in website basically was given. This is basically, it's not my answer basically, this was given by one of the websites basically. I don't know that website name also, because I had read this long before basically, when the war actually started that time. Then basically one person told that this information basically Europe people have this information, because Ukraine is basically the part of Europe, right? And in Europe basically there are more than more than 15 crore Indian nationality staying. More than 15 crore Indian nationality are staying in the Europe. Then basically that person basically was shocked of that. Why basically they are, the European people basically are not doing any harm to Indian nationality there? Because if India is giving weapon to the Russia, then they should harm, right? This was basically the interesting question basically asked by one of the person, that why they are not doing any harm to European basically European Indian. Then basically one person told that their president basically are from Indian supporter, like Johnson basically. Johnson basically, if he is past basically, he was basically Indian very long before he was Indian, and current president basically he is also Indian. But they might be aware that right, that Russian is getting each and every weapons from the Russia, from the Indian side. So they might be aware, right? Without aware basically it's not possible to give this much support, right? Because Indian might be knowing that across the world basically, sorry, in the Europe basically there are more than 15 crore people are staying. So without aware basically they have supported the Russia. Then basically the question told, and nothing is happening in European, yeah, in Europe basically for the Indian people. So this was basically the interesting question basically asked by the one of the person basically. So he told that something verification is ongoing. Few people says that war is ongoing or not. That also they want to check, because if war might be ongoing, then basically Indian might have shifted long before from Europe to India. So this was basically question. So this is also basically one of the Congress technique basically to verify each and everything, basically how the thing basically is gone going and how the things are not going and who is supporting which country, and how basically the informations are getting passed of each and every house, each and everything. Basically the Congress groups told that this idea basically was given by one of the Bollywood person, because he is setting each and every scene of the each and every city. So one of the director person basically got one idea from the IBM group. That idea basically actually was passed by the IBM group, and IBM basically also group basically have some motive behind that idea. And that director basically was one of the human clone created by one of the director. Was sorry, one of the IBM company, and the entire Bollywood basically was getting controlled by that human clone, and that human clone basically was getting controlled by the IBM group. So this idea actually changed the entire Bollywood industry, and the because the original information who has actually passed, that you can't hide. So one day basically Europe is going to know that India basically has given the weapon to Russia country for war, and the Europe country basically is suffering due to Indian material only. Basically this basically I am not telling it, it is basically told by one of the website. Basically I also don't remember that website name, but this is fact basically. But here the question is, Europe is sorry, the Russia is getting help by the Indian people from India, like Sarabhai is there, Sarabhai technology is there, Sarabhai weapons are there, lots of basically missiles are created. And Sarabhai basically is from Gujarat, he's basically known Gujarati, and Narendra Modi is also Gujarati. So you can just imagine the connection also basically. So there is big, I think there is some big plan basically ongoing, that India is helping Russia, and Russia is doing attack to European country. And in Europe basically there are more than 15 crore people staying. That also they are doing the job, they are doing the money, earning the money. So here the question is really the war ongoing? That also basically the Congress people want to check. Basically, if the war is ongoing, then basically why the Indian people are basically not getting effect. So this all basically the lots of verification is ongoing in this war basically. And the one more basically thing, the biological war is already ongoing. That is basically the corona weapon basically. That was also one of the war basically, you can say, biological war. So in this basically what was the verification? In this basically what was the verification that was ongoing? So the IT industry has done the verification. IT industry means basically mostly are basically from Israel, Gaza, Saudi Arab. Saudi Arab basically mostly know each and everything of the each and every roadmap of the IT industry. They know this also, that text box equal to 10,000 CD. Sorry, this number basically can be totally different. It can be 1,000, it can be 100 also, it can be 10,000 also. So text box is created from 10,000 CD. Combo box is created from the 10,000 CD. These all are basically user control of the IT industry. Sorry, of the websites basically, you can say. If you are doing the surfing, and if you are using creating any registration, if you are creating any user ID in, for example, in Yahoo, you are creating the user ID, right? So in Yahoo, basically, when you are creating the user ID, that time basically the registration page basically contains text box, combo box is there, check box is there, and each and every things basically are there, right? So these all are basically created from set of cities, basically, you can say. Set of cities basically, you can say. So one example is text box is created from the 10,000 cities. So this all verification also has done basically, because internet is basically the digital world. So in biological weapon war basically, which was basically the corona war, that was there basically, this verification was done, because one country is basically controlling each and every software industry. And this everything, each and every war basically is ongoing to become the richest person basically. Richest, first richest person in Gujarat, richest person in India, richest person in world. So somebody want to become richest person in India and richest person in world. So due to that, with this basically, the lots of people says that due to this only the war is ongoing. That means the corona basically, which was in this basically the crores of people basically die. That was due to that person basically who want to become the richest person in the world. Lots of people says this way also basically. And if each and every Indian businessman basically that are basically by default controlled by the Congress group, and each and every high courts, each and every supreme courts, each and every state's courts, each and every police departments, each and every army departments, they each and everything basically they says that they have taken the control. Like this basically they are telling that we have controlled the entire India. Then if they have controlled the entire India, then basically how Indira Gandhi was murdered by their own army security guard only. That is also question basically one person asked. Then one person asked that really the Indira Gandhi has murdered. That also basically somebody asked. Really the Indira Gandhi was murdered. This also basically one of the person basically question asked. Because it's a one India basically. So secrets of India basically. Few people says that Lal Bahadur Shastri still exist. Few people says that Lal Bahadur Shastri still exist. His body basically still exists and he is having some different face. So basically you can just imagine, and India is basically controlled by few people says that Europe has created India. That is basically in front of the world, right? But in real basically what is that? In real basically the king's groups, the king is ruling the country basically, right? So few people says that king is controlling the each and every system and he is doing the verification. So this is also, and he is also controlling the Congress party. He is also controlling the Congress party. So we will in next video basically we are going to see how Congress party is controlling Supreme Court. For example, one person is not getting job. So how that person is getting controlled by the high courts, Supreme Courts, judges, how the judge group basically keeps biodata, sorry, the his information so that he should not get the job, and up to what level basically they are going to do to he's not getting he's not supposed to get the job, and the another side is up to what level basically the people are doing so that he should get the job. So best example I have given is Putin is getting weapon from India and doing attack in Europe. And in Europe, basically, there are more than 1500 crore people staying. So, in next part, basically, we are going to see that how basically India is safe in European country. Even basically, the India is helping Russian country in weapon basically. So, whatever weapon basically Russia is using, this each and every weapon basically are supported by the Indian Army Group. So this is basically not my word. This is basically told by one of the website. I also don't remember that name of the website. In next part, basically we are going to see in detail basically how each and every how basically Russia is taking help from India and how India is creating the weapons for the European people.